You can sense the intensity as they await the arrival of the Tennessee team here at Neyland Stadium. The #1 undefeated Volunteers prepare to race onto the field. Everything is riding on this football game. So there's a special intensity, a special urgency. Here come the Volunteers. Wherever you listen throughout the world, it's football time in Tennessee.
What's going on, YouTubes? What's up, Vol fans? What's up, Alabama Crimson Tide fans? I tell you what, that was, folks, you witnessed a machine, an offensive and defensive machine. That's got to be Saban's best offense he's ever had. We talked to Law Tide last night on the call-in show, and he has to agree that it is the best that Saban has had, and maybe the Alabama's ever had. Who knows? But who really thought that we were going to win that game? I really thought we'd cover it, but we saw a spark there with Christ. I really didn't think that he was going to be a starting quarterback or anything, but Garantano got banged up. I'd like to know what happened to him, if anybody heard. I actually got to watch that game, and looked like he took a heck of a hit. He was down on all fours for a while. They took him into the tent. But the phone lines are open. Like I say all the time, I vest heavily on the phone lines, and today, anybody who makes a good phone call will get a Volunteer Roadshow t-shirt. Call the Allied Oil and Tire hotline at 855-489-7623. Law Tide said that it's going to be, I think he said 42-13. Well, it was pretty much that at halftime. And Tua, he's not staying all 4 years. Alabama fans need to get it through their heads. He's going to be gone as soon as he's eligible if he's smart. I see we got a couple of calls coming in now, and I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from the fans. That's what this show is all about. It's all about the fans. It's not about my opinion. It's not about my guest's opinion, even though we have a few opinions. I want to hear from you guys. I saw halftime, there was a lot of empty seats in the stadium. I'm a little disappointed in that. I can understand Big Vol Daddy. I think he left in third quarter because he's got some health issues, and it takes him a while to get down into the car. But him and Law Tide made their annual trip to see Alabama play Tennessee, and it's really great. And anyway, let me hear from you. I've got a couple of you already online, and don't forget, get a free t-shirt if you make a good call. Remember, no F-bombs, which is upside down. No bad language. We try to keep it clean. I don't mind if a few slip here or there, but there you go. I had Gimme Dat in South Carolina sponsoring the show. They printed me up a bunch of t-shirts, and let's go to the calls. Let's go to the phone lines, and we've got a 865 number on. What you got for Catfish, and what'd you think about the ball game?
Man, it was tough to watch at times. Man, Alabama's got a good team. I don't think there's anybody in the country that can beat them. But I liked what I saw from the team. I thought that we fought hard throughout the whole game, especially there in the third quarter and the second quarter. I thought we were never giving up, and it gives me a lot of hope for South Carolina.
Yeah, I think Alabama, if they're not 28-point favorites against anybody in the country just about. There's something wrong. Everybody says you get 3 points for being at home. Well, you get 28 points just for being Alabama. That's the way I see it. And congrats to Alabama. I'm going to do my Crow video sometime this evening, maybe tomorrow. Depends on how long this show runs. But I appreciate you calling. What was the best thing you saw today out of the team?
Honestly, everybody that I know is talking about how good Keller Chris looked when he came in. But I want to give some props to Garantano. That kid is one of the toughest quarterbacks that I've seen, with the amount of times that he gets hit and
Absolutely.
still steps back there to throw the ball.
Yeah, he took a wallop.
I think
he
that,
took a big wallop. Have you heard?
Absolutely, and
have you heard what's wrong with him? They said something about. I heard the word collarbone mentioned. I don't know if he's got a broke collarbone, but that was before halftime. Has anybody heard what might be wrong with him?
I heard it was an undisclosed collarbone injury, and he was, towards the end of the game, he was in plain clothes on the sidelines, so I'm not sure exactly what the problem was, but...
Well, one of the things that I like, and I'll piggyback off what you said, what I liked is you contrast this game with the Florida game. The floodgates opened up in that Florida game, and we just lost control, didn't know what to do. That Auburn game really got rid of a lot of the mental block, and I think a lot of our problems is mental. Now, granted, Alabama is head and shoulders talent-wise above pretty much everybody in the country, so I'm not saying we could hang with Alabama, but I think that Auburn win helped us out a lot. And when them floodgates opened this game, we were still there. We were still playing. We didn't have our heads down. We didn't fold up and go home. We kept playing. That's one of the things that I like seeing. And I think we've got some winnable games. I say at the end of my show, we're going to a bowl game. I promise you that. Well, I still think we're going to a damn bowl game. What do you think?
I think so. It's not going to be easy. Kentucky is probably the best Kentucky team that I've seen in a long time. I think that the Vanderbilt's one of those teams that you never know what you're going to get from them. They might play you hard, and then they might collapse. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But I think this Tennessee team, if they show the fight that they showed today and against Auburn and against Georgia, there is no doubt in my mind that we're going to a bowl game.
Yeah, and I guess one of the things that I liked about what I saw in Pruitt is everybody was in the comment section, or I was doing a live chat with somebody, and they thought that was the dumbest move going for that onside kick there. I didn't have a problem with that onside kick. You're playing Alabama. I mean, you got to pull out all the stops, in my opinion. I did not have a problem with it. It nicked the guy. But, hey, if we would have recovered it, everybody would have been saying he's a genius. So I like what I see in Pruitt. I think we've got a lot of hope for this program, and we haven't had a lot of hope. And I still have hope. It's the national, or the state motto is wait till next year. Well, I really think this wait till next year is going to mean something this time. I really do. But anyway, what I want you to do, if you can remember this, it's easy to remember. You don't even need a pen. Go to volunteerroadshow@gmail. Send me your name and address, and type in your phone number so I know it's you, so nobody's scamming me. I've got your phone number here, and I'm writing it down. And I'll send you a Volunteer Roadshow t-shirt. Just tell me your size. I got them from small all the way up. I even think I have a 3X, maybe one or two of them anyway. So I appreciate the call. I've got some callers waiting, and keep calling the show. This show's about the fans, and I want to hear from you guys, and I really appreciate you calling.
All right, Catfish. You have a good one.
You too. Well, he feels like a lot like me. We're going to go to a 251. I think I know who this is. I think this is a regular viewer of mine Andrew. What you got for Catfish?
Hey, Catfish, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm all right. I just want to talk about the game.
Let me hear it.
I mean, the first quarter, first quarter, Alabama was pouring it on, and it looked like they was going to go away with it in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Y'all was fighting back in the second quarter, and Garetano took a big hit in that second quarter. I think Matt Wilson hit him. I'm not for sure.
Yeah.
And Keller Chris came in there and looked like he didn't step up a beat.
Let me ask you a question. What's
Yeah.
it like? What's it like? I'm gonna get some flack for asking you this, but what's it like being an Alabama fan right now? Are you numb to all the winning? Or are you just excited as you was the first time? Tell me what it's like. I'd like to know because we've never been there before.
Yeah, it's exciting because I was there when Shula was there. I remember when Shula, Mike Price, even though he didn't coach, and all them years was kind of like down. We like when we made a bowl game, we was real excited, like we made a bowl game. But then ever since Saban been here, it's just been win after. I'm just really excited about it. And from year to year, it's just exciting because we're winning all the time, and it's just really joyful.
Well, enjoy it while you can. Saban can't coach forever, and
yeah,
anybody that follows Saban is going to be a disappointment. I think you're going to have a coach or two because y'all have already burned up all your patience as well as y'all been doing. And I've said this I don't know how many times. We'll never see what Alabama has done over the last decade again in college football. At least I don't think. At least not in my lifetime. So just be patient because the end, you don't know how much longer he's got. I think he's got a couple more years. Let me ask you, how long do you think Saban's going to be coaching? Do you think he'll hang it up after he wins another one, or do you think he's just going to keep on plugging? He's got all the money in the world, so it can't be the money.
Yeah, I think he enjoys coaching. What I've seen, even though sometimes he seems like he's mad all the time on the sideline, but I think he enjoys coaching. I think he's got maybe 5 more years left. If I had to guess, about 5 more years. But I mean, you never know. He could hang it up this year if he wins the national championship, but you never know. But I think he's got 5 more years left in him.
Wow.
But he could go longer than that. I think he's late in his late 60s, I think. But he seems to enjoy it. And
I'm asking you a couple of questions before I let you go. And phone lines are open. We've had a couple of you hang up. I hope I'm not getting in this drop call situation. So anybody that has their call dropped, you just keep calling back. And if I watch it, I'll pick it up before the screener does because I think that's where the technical problem is. So just call back and I'll pick it up. But besides the kicking game, where do you think the weakest link on Alabama's team is? Is there any weakness at all? Because I'm watching a machine that's perfect.
Yeah, I think they can clean up some of the tacklings if they can just learn how to wrap up when they tackle. Like all these college kids, they just don't know how to tackle no more. It's like they got to throw their shoulder into it. Mm-hmm. But if they can just clean up the tackling some, and but on the secondary needs to cover a little bit more. But I mean, which I think you're gonna get burned every now and then, but sometimes you can cover a little bit better. Yeah. Especially on number 4, Savion Smith, he could do a little better job. But I mean, I'm not on the field, but if they can just clean up the tackling some, and that's about all I got. That and the kicking game.
Yeah. How come you can't get a kicker? Y'all haven't had a kicker in a long time, and I'm already starting to see some LSU fans on the internet saying we want Bama. Ain't nobody really wants Bama. I say that on my show, but that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm an entertainer. But you have any nervousness at all coming off this bye week, going to LSU and playing them. You got any nervousness? They've been playing a lot better than people thought. My opinion is y'all beat them by 2 touchdowns. I don't think you have anything to worry about if you play your best game.
Yeah.
And LSU can play better than they've ever played in the last decade and couldn't beat Alabama if they played their best. But you at all nervous? You got a prediction?
Yeah. Every time Alabama plays in Baton Rouge, it seems like LSU always plays tough. Because a couple years ago they went into Baton Rouge and they won 10-0. It was a defensive standoff, but LSU ain't no pushover. But I think they can win maybe by 2 touchdowns, like you said, maybe 35-21, somewhere around there.
Well,
if I had to guess right now.
I think it's going to be a good game, and I think you're going to win that game. I'm going to go out on a limb. This is going to shock a lot of people. They're going to ask for me to quit making videos, but I'm going to go out on a big limb. Alabama makes it to the playoffs. Am I going out on a limb on that one?
No, I don't think so.
Anybody know?
Anybody
know what happened with Michigan State? Who won that game?
Michigan won that game 21-7.
Yeah.
They had a lightning delay during the game or something, but Michigan came back and won the game 21-7. Clemson blew out NC State today. That was beat them pretty bad. I think it was 41-0 or 41-7.
Wow, I thought NC State at least make it close. Any other games? I haven't been tuning in. I'm sure you probably get to watch more than I did. But any other games going on?
No.
When's LSU and Mississippi State play?
They're playing now. Mississippi State, LSU. Fitzgerald threw an interception down at the goal line. LSU scored, but they're driving now, so they're almost in the end zone. It's 7-0 LSU right now.
Yeah.
And Ohio State plays at 6:30 tonight. They play Purdue.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. And if you want, I know you're an Alabama fan, but if you want one of these Volunteer Roadshow shirts, that's to everybody that makes a good call today. Just email me to volunteerroadshow@gmail, and I'll write your number down. If you want one, I'll send it out to you. But you probably don't want one, but who knows? You might have a Tennessee fan for a friend or something. But anyway, thanks for calling. I'm gonna grab another call. We've got a lot of open lines, and we're gonna get to the callers. And let's see, we got a 910. Let's see if they're still on here. 910 area code. You're on with Catfish. What you got?
Man, you guys just, Alabama, got 58 points again.
I know you're not a Tennessee fan. I forgot. Who was your team?
I'm not talking junk enough. I'm just saying that you guys put up 21 points. That's good against the Alabama team.
Alabama's a machine,
aren't they? Yeah, their defense is not good.
Oh, come on now. Their defense is good. Get out of here. They've got a good defense. It may not be the same defense that we're used to seeing with Alabama, but I'm going to tell you, Alabama their defense is as good as anybody's in the country. I don't care what anybody says.
Who you think is going to go to the SEC championship?
Well, it's still.
I got Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah, that's who I've got too. I don't see anybody really contending for me. If you hang on just a minute, I'm gonna do some shout outs. You got time to hang on a minute?
Okay.
We got Donnie Shepard. He's a Kentucky Wildcat fan. I'm glad to see you back on here. I don't know how did Kentucky Wildcats do today? Did they win? Has the game even started? Got Sooner Ace, a fantastic Oklahoma fan in here. Buster Cherry, David Johnson, Adam Bumgardner, he's always in here. David Johnson, I see he's in here. Let's see, I'm going back through here. John Neal's my buddy now. So everybody say hey to John. I think I seen SEC Dog in here earlier. Potatoes in here. W. Ivy's in here. Let's see. College football. George is always in here. He's a Gator fan. Matt 7397. Uncle Luke is in here. Stephen McBriar. LAZ 007. Chafuka is in here. Darkness God. I think that's everybody. But anyway, what else you got? Anything else exciting happen? Do you think anybody can score more than 35 points on Alabama the rest of the season? Do you think LSU can score 35 on them?
Yes, because they're at home.
Yeah.
LSU.
I tell you what, LSU surprised a lot of people. I think they're playing good. I mean, I don't think they're going to come in second in the West. I don't think they're beating Alabama. And even if they do, I still have Alabama in the SEC championship. I see Bama #1's in here. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. But Michigan beat Michigan State. Clemson beat NC State. Somebody said LSU was up 7-0. Anything? There's just not a lot going on today.
I know.
What'd you think about Keller
Michigan
Chris?
and
Did you
Michigan
watch the
State.
game?
For me,
Yeah, did you watch it?
the Tennessee game, a little bit, yeah.
Did you get to see Keller Chris at all?
A little bit, yeah.
Well, I think he came in a tough situation.
I mostly watched the Michigan and Michigan State game today.
I heard that turned out to be
That
a
was
good
a good
game.
one.
How did that game go?
It was 21-7, Michigan.
Oh, I thought it turned out to be a pretty good game, somebody said. Well, who do you think's going to win the cocktail party next week? Florida, Georgia.
Between who? Georgia.
Yeah, I think so too. But I don't know. Florida, they've got a lot of confidence right now. I think it's going to be a good game. I really wouldn't be shocked if Florida wins, but talent-wise, on paper, Georgia should win this game. I think they've got some mental problems and maybe some coaching problems. They're ready to run Cheney out of town, out of Athens. I see we have Brock Mumpower in here. Glad you're in here. LSU plays Alabama, not this week. Does LSU get a bye week this week too, or just Alabama get a bye week?
Yeah, they have a bye week.
Yeah.
I think both of them have a bye week. Yeah.
Well,
I don't want Florida to win because I don't want Lance to be crazy.
you want Florida to win?
No, because I don't want Lance to be like, we're going to go to the playoffs.
He is a little crazy, ain't he?
Yeah.
Well, I see Dan says, I like Chris better than Garantano. Chris impressed me today. I still think that Jeremy Pruitt's going to go with Garantano, depending on the injury. I'd like somebody to call in and tell me what's going on with Garantano on his injury. And I need some Tennessee fans to call. 855-489-7623. Anybody that makes me a good call will get this Volunteer Roadshow t-shirt. I got a bunch of them made up by Gimme Dat down in South Carolina. And what else is going on?
Who you think is going to win the Kentucky game tonight?
They're playing Vandy. I think Kentucky wins. They should win.
Yeah. I'm surprised Arkansas hold Tulsa by 0 points.
Yeah. Well, I've got another caller coming in. I appreciate you calling, and I want to make sure I get to everybody before I get out of here. You're on with Catfish. What you got?
How you doing, Catfish?
What's going on, buddy?
I watched the ball game.
What'd you think?
It was a tough one to stomach, but I mean, it's hard to beat a machine like Alabama is.
Yeah, they are a machine. I think that's one of the best offenses I've seen in a while. Tua hasn't even thrown an interception. He's just throwing up ungodly numbers. He's having good games by halftime. This kid is, and he's not going to be there as soon as he's eligible for the NFL. If he's smart, he's gone. I don't see any reason for him to hang around there. But I do see that when the Avalanche started, we didn't pack up like we normally do, and that's some of the things that I saw. The Florida game, that's what we did. We packed up when it started getting out of hand, and it got out of hand in a hurry today. I mean, they put up what? Did they get to 28 by the first quarter, or was it just 21 in the first quarter? I forget. Not that it really matters.
It was, yeah, I think it was 24, 21, something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy, crazy.
There was that throw in I think it was the first quarter. Tua threw it right over two Tennessee defenders and just put it on a dime. And the receiver just outran everybody. I couldn't believe that throw because we got decent pressure on it. It wasn't the best in the world, but we got, I think, Shy Tuttle came in there and threw it the middle of the B gap and shot right up in there, and he just darted over to the right and threw it double coverage and still catches it, and the receiver ran for a touchdown.
Well, before you go,
when you have
go ahead.
And I can't. It's hard to defend a well-oiled machine like that. The gears are rolling, and it's hard to stop something like that.
Yeah, it's one of the most proficient offenses I've seen in a long, long time. And before you go, I've got a question for ask you, but don't forget to email me at volunteerroadshow@gmail with your name and address and your size, and I'll send you one of these Volunteer Roadshow T-shirts. But do you think we're going to a bowl game? Do you think we have a chance to get 6 wins this season?
Yes, sir. I could stay on as long as I need to, but I really see us going to a bowl game. I think we can win out. Maybe Kentucky will give us a problem. It just depends on how Garantano is. I've heard undisclosed collarbone injury. I've heard he's got a broke collarbone. I've heard clavicle maybe. It's hard to tell. It's just a shoulder injury as far as I know.
That's what I heard
too. I think Kentucky will give us a problem. I think it'll be a close game for Missouri and South Carolina. Of course, we'll beat Charlotte out of the water, and Vanderbilt will be, I think it'll be a third quarter game, and then we'll run away with it. Yeah. So I see 7-5, which is what I predicted at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you calling.
Odd how we got here.
Yeah, it is tough. I mean, start of the season, the way we played Auburn, I said this on one of my shows, I think it was yesterday, the way we played Auburn on the offensive side of the ball is really how I thought we were going to come out at the beginning of the season. It took us a while to get there, but I still think we've got a pretty decent offense. We need to clean up our tackling, and our offensive line needs a lot of work. And I don't know if it's a combination. I think it's a combination and talent. We need some talent. We need to start recruiting some big old youngins is what we need to do.
We tackled pretty decent against Alabama. I think our tackling's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Open field tackling especially. I was the last person to call after the Auburn game. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm really seeing improvement, but as we've shown today, it's going to take some time. It's going to take a year or two to get his guys in there and have them ready to have some experience under them and be ready to play SEC football.
Yeah. Well, I'm right there with you. I still have a lot of hope in where Pruitt's going to take us. I mean, realistically, there's not a Tennessee fan on the planet that's not shocked by what happened. I mean, I thought we would cover the spread. I thought we'd keep it within 2 touchdowns or 17 points. I was wrong. We had a few things that didn't bounce our way. But I seen some good. There was a lot of ugly, but I seen some good. And I appreciate the calls. The calls are stacking up on me. I keep talking with you. Keep calling in. This is a great call. Don't forget to email me your name and address, and I'll get you out a T-shirt. And that goes to anybody that makes a good call today. And thanks, buddy.
All right.
Well, we got another Tennessee number on hold. He's been on hold a while. Let's see. Let me see if I can get this unmuted here. This is Catfish. What you got for me?
Hey, Catfish. Thanks for taking my call. I watched the game, and I like the idea that the balls aren't quitting. They keep playing for the coach.
Yeah.
And I think this team can win out. I don't think we've seen their best ball, because as this season has gone on, what we've seen is improvement every week.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that I think, you know, last year Missouri started, what was it, 0-5
Yeah.
or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and ended up making a bowl game.
Yeah.
And I think that Missouri game could be an interesting game on that count.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Kentucky game, you know, they're pretty one-dimensional offensively. As long as we can shut down Benny Snell, I think we got a shot in that game.
Yeah.
And that'd put us at 7-5.
I think our biggest games left is definitely Kentucky. Who knows how South Carolina, they're kind of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I don't know. It depends on which South Carolina team shows up, but I think we'll beat South Carolina. Now, Missouri does bother me a little bit because Locke, he's a great quarterback, and we're having trouble in our defensive secondary.
Yeah, and nobody knows when Abernathy's coming back. He's a big leader back there in that third level.
Yeah.
And hopefully he'll get healthy. I know as far as Garantano goes, he took a really, really bad job.
Man, it was a shot. Man, I was worried. I mean, he was down for the count. He was on all fours for a while.
Yeah, and it was a good clean hit, too. You know, that's just part of football. But, but, you know, Chris stepped in there, and I just feel optimistic for the year, you know, the rest of the year, because they keep showing improvement. And as long as they keep fighting, don't mail it in, and just keep pounding, I think there's a good chance they win out. And as far as the South Carolina game coming up, I have never been a big fan of Will Muschamp. You know, he went 4-8 down there at Florida, and they're always loaded with talent.
Yeah.
And I just think Jeremy Pruitt's a better coach. I think he'll have a good game plan, and I'm really optimistic going into Columbia next week.
Yeah. Well, before I let you go, I wanted to tell everybody this show is for the fans. It's not about me. It's not about my guest host. It's about you, the fans. So email me, volunteerroadshow@gmail, for all the good callers. And caller, I want you to email me your name and address and your shirt size, and I'll get it out to you. And college football, and I say this all the time, but I can't say it enough. It's the best sport on the planet. It's better than the NFL. It's better than Major League Baseball, the NBA. And it's because of the fans. And especially when you live down here in the Southeast, where football is king, we've got the best fans down here. Yeah, we talk trash. We get after each other. But at the end of the day, we're all brothers, and we can be respectful to one another. And yeah, there's a few bad fans in every fan base. But what do you think about Alabama going forward? Do you think anybody can stop Alabama?
No, not really. I thought that potentially Ohio State had a chance, but, you know, and that was a really outside chance. But then, you know, with Bosa going, you know, healing his injury and going to the pros, I don't think there's anybody that can beat them. You know, Clemson, they're so tough in the interior.
Yeah.
They're so dominant in the interior. And depth at the skill positions. No, I don't think there's anybody who can beat them, Catfish.
Well, I agree with you. Well, this is a great call. I tell you what, this is such a good call. When you email me your name and address and shirt size, not only am I going to send you one of these nice T-shirts, I'm going to send you a Tennessee Tiki Totem. So don't forget to email me, buddy. I've got a couple of calls to get to. Great call. And hang in there, buddy. It's going to get better.
Thanks, Catfish. Thanks for taking my call.
All right, buddy. Yeah, that was a good call. We're going to go to a 770 number here. He's been waiting for a while. Sorry to keep you on hold. Phone lines are open, so I want some Tennessee fans to call. I want some Alabama fans to call. They may be so numb to winning they don't feel like calling a Tennessee show, but I show class on this show. But you're on with Catfish. What you got for me?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on with Catfish. What you got for me?
Hey, Catfish, what's up, bro? This is Josh.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Doing, man?
Georgia fan.
Well, that's right, man. That's right. I'm on 75. You know, I'm in traffic. Hoping not better than mine. So, I was hearing your show, man. I heard on the radio the other day, Tennessee. It was a tough loss for y'all, but I mean, at the same time, you know, I feel like Pruitt is a good coach. And, you know, right now he ain't got a lot of talent to work with. I mean, you got to realize, you know, Butch Jones was there, you know, a couple of years. So that's all his players. So
yeah.
I really believe when Pruitt gets his hand on his players, you know, and what he wants to do, I really do see Tennessee maybe turning around. Like you said, they're fighting. And that's, you know, I'm a big Georgia fan. You know, when y'all play against Georgia, I thought it was just going to be a blowout, really. But y'all showed fight and y'all showed toughness. So, I mean, I can see it.
Yeah.
But like I said, y'all getting better. And Alabama's just they're in a league of their own. Well, I think we all know that. You know, I'm a big Georgia fan. I'm a realist Georgia fan, too.
Yeah.
But I do feel like if Georgia can just stop playing like Uncle Lou says, the hokey pokey, putting Justin Fields in and taking Fromm out. To me, that's just, you got to be comfortable. You can't get comfortable playing. To me, you can't get comfortable playing two quarterbacks. It's hard to get in the rhythm, and I feel like Justin Fields is a better quarterback than Jake Fromm.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Georgia fans saying, "Oh, you shouldn't." I just feel like Justin Fields gives us a better chance of winning. You know, he's a dual threat quarterback. That's what we need.
Yeah.
And Georgia ain't had that long time since DJ Shockley. You know, but I really think Georgia's going to get turned around. Like I said, when we went to Auburn last year, we lost to them. And everybody ripped Georgia off like we can't come back. And I feel like Georgia's going to get turned around. I feel like Kirby Smart says, you know, work on fundamentals this week, tackle them better. And Georgia's got to start pushing the ball down the field. These 10-yard curls and all that just don't work.
You know something? I know Uncle Lou personally. I talked to him on the phone. You know, me and him are buddies. I don't know that sometimes Uncle Lou, you don't know whether it's real or if it's, you know, a shtick for YouTube, but he's genuinely upset with Chaney and the coaches and Kirby Smart with this putting Tua in and
yep.
Fields out and all that hokey pokey. That's real. He, you know, part of that is humor,
exactly right.
But that is real. He really feels that way, and I know him personally, so I can tell you that's real. And if I agree with him, I don't have a dog in that fight, no pun intended, but I agree with him. What do you think?
I agree with 100%. You know, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I want Georgia to have the best chance of winning. If Fromm was struggling so bad the first half, you know, struggling. I mean, you see it on the play. You know, he missed open receivers. I mean, he missed 2 or 3 open receivers that he should have hit. And I feel like, you know, Fields can buy more time for us to get the ball downfield. If something breaks down, he can spell for us and give us 5-10 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Alabama has into it.
Yeah.
If something breaks down, he can make something happen, and that's what Georgia needs, you know. And Fromm, he just looked confused this year. I don't know what his deal is this year. I don't know. He looks shaky in the pocket. He looks his first read is not there. He panics.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be that. You gotta look around. You can't focus on one receiver every time. So, but like I said, Chaney, you know, last year Chaney was a genius, and this year, you know, the play calling is not that good. I mean, I see that, but at the same time, I just think, you know, Georgia's lost Nick Chubb and Sonny Michel. That's a big loss for us.
Mm-hmm.
Because Georgia was seeing a lot of 8-9 in the box, and we don't, you know, it makes Fromm's job easier passing it because, you know, that's focused on run so much. This year, Georgia's running game has not been there where it was last year. But
yeah.
I honestly believe that Georgia is going to be back. I do, and I think Kirby Smart is just a great coach. You know, I think he has that pedigree about him. I really do think that Georgia's going to get a turnaround, and I think Georgia's going to beat Florida this Saturday, and I think they're going to make a statement saying, hey, we're still Georgia, we're still here, and we're still going to, you know, going to be in that championship game with Alabama, you know.
Yeah.
But we got to get tackling better. We do, and all about fundamentals. And you know, Georgia can't go out there every year. I mean, every week going to say, hey, we're Georgia. We're going to dominate you. It's not that easy. You got to take every team serious. And sometimes Georgia don't do that. They look over teams, I think. But you know, but LSU worked our butt, and I'm hoping they open our eyes to Catfish. I really do. But
yeah.
Like I said, man, I love your show, man. I mean, you're doing well. I've been following you for about close to a year now. So I still remember your first video when you was at Cartersville truck stop. You said about at Tennessee about, you know, having fights.
Yeah.
You know, I guess we're playing. And
Yeah.
like I said, I enjoy your show. You're doing a great job. And you, BBD, are good people. You know, even though, you know, BBD gets riled up sometimes.
Yeah, he does. I was talking to him during the game, and he's not too happy right now. But I appreciate you calling. I got a 740 on hold area code, and I'm gonna get to some of these calls. But thanks for following me. You've always been great about commenting, and I really appreciate it. Thanks, buddy.
All right, 10-4, Catfish. Have a good one, brother.
All right. Well, we're going to go to the 740. I don't know where that is, but he wants to talk Tennessee football. You're on with Catfish. How you doing?
Catfish, this is Hampton Fuller, sir. I'm calling from Shadyside, Ohio, just across the border from Wheeling, West Virginia. Yes, sir.
I remember you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I tell you, I love you and BVD. I lived in Knoxville for 3.5 years, but I'm from South Carolina originally. Went to the University of South Carolina, got my librarian degree, and I'm a medical librarian at a hospital over the river in West Virginia. But listen, as a Gamecock fan, and look, we struggle, you know, especially in our running game and stopping the run this season. Coach Muschamp says he's going to try to tweak the offense. I know we have the pleasure of facing the Vols at Williams-Brice Stadium next weekend. But I really think early on, I saw the game today. I think Tennessee was looked promising, at least slowing down the run. I mean, it's Alabama. I mean, they're just on a whole nother level than any other team right now. But Chris looked good. But I think Tennessee's going to be okay. I'm concerned about my Gamecocks, though, against the Vols. I don't know. I hope Jake Bentley has a good game next week, but I don't know. What do you think?
I think I think it's going to be a good game. Bentley, before the season, I thought he was going to be one of the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the league. I got the chance to, one of my sponsors is Gimme That. They're out of South Carolina. They printed me up some shirts, and this goes to all the great callers. If you want one, if you give me a good call, I'm going to write your phone number down, make sure you're not cheating me. But they're Gamecock fans, and they're not real happy with Bentley. They're wanting that backup in.
No.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
They're wanting him. So tell me about that kid. Is he?
Yeah.
Are they off the rocker for wanting him, or is Bentley the guy? I know there's a lot of Carolina fans that are tired of him.
Well, Scarnecchia has waited for so long. He's a senior. This is his final year, and he looked good against Missouri. Of course, Missouri again, not a. I mean, they're a decent team, but Scarnecchia just, yeah. I mean, I think Bentley just had a bad game against Kentucky and just a bad first half against A&M. But I still say, hey, he bailed us out in 2016, got us to a bowl game. I mean, by South Carolina standards, that's pretty good. You know, when we don't have the tradition that Alabama or even Tennessee has when it comes to championships. We've got one championship that came back in the late 60s in the Atlantic Coast Conference, but we did win the East in 2010. Ironically, we lost to Kentucky that year too, because Marcus Lattimore went down. But I tell you, I think Bentley's the guy. But if he keeps throwing interceptions, put in the backup. Find somebody, find a hot hand. But it should be a good game. I don't know what the line's going to be, but I wish the ball fans a safe trip down to Columbia and explore some of that South Carolina barbecue and peaches. And
are you going to be at the game?
But I will be in town. I don't know if I'll get to the game or not. I think I'll go to a buddy of mine's house and watch it.
Yeah.
But it should be a good game. I think Tennessee and South Carolina are fairly two evenly matched teams this season. I don't know if ball fans. I know there are probably some ball fans that don't like to be compared to South Carolina, but this season I think we are kind of on the same even keel. Jeremy Pruitt's a good coach, and he's learned from the master. And Will Muschamp has learned from. I think. He of course he was under Mac Brown, I think, at Texas. But anyhow, both programs are gonna have bright futures, I think. But I want to see the day that it's South Carolina and Tennessee battling for the first in the East, not Georgia and Florida, not Tennessee and Florida, but Tennessee and South Carolina. I'd like to see that.
As much as I would agree, but I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of disgruntled Georgia fans right now about the play calling, but they're coming off of a number one recruiting class. They're probably going to be top 5 next year. Kirby Smart's a recruiting machine, and I think their super team is going to be next year. I don't see any. If anybody's going to be competing with anybody in the East, Georgia's going to be in the mix for a while. I do believe that.
Yeah, I agree with you as much as it dismays me. But Uncle Lou, I've seen some videos from Uncle Lou. He's interesting, but no one tops BVD and you, Catfish.
Well, I just like making this about I just like making this about the fans. I want to get the fans involved. I love it when you guys call in. I want to hear your opinion.
Yeah.
And that's what this show is all about. And college football, I said it earlier, is the best sport on the planet. And the SEC is the best conference on the planet because of the fans.
Absolutely. Hands down. Hands down. And you know what? I'm up here. I guess you could call it Yankee land because I am north of the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah.
But you're either a West Virginia Mountaineer or a Ohio State Buckeye. And I tell you, they don't know how to have a good tailgate like the SEC fans do.
Yeah.
They just don't. But I don't think they're as passionate like the SEC fans are. I mean, even look at Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt, is kind of at the bottom, but their fans still. And I know they got a small stadium and everything, but they at least, I think they probably have a bit more pride in their traditions than say some Big Ten schools, really.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Well, do you think I've got a caller that calls in pretty regular, Paul. He's an Ohio State fan. Do you think
Yeah.
Ohio State can compete with Alabama right now? Or is there anybody you think
so.
can compete?
I mean, well, as much as it dismays me, and I'm a Gamecock, and I know our hated rival or our rival is Clemson. I would think Clemson and maybe Ohio State possibly could give them a run for their money. They've got a decent quarterback, but I tell you, that Alabama defense is just, is good. And Tua was playing on a hurt knee, a bum knee, and he still, looked good. But I don't know. I don't know. Alabama is top dog right now. Who knows? Maybe they go into LSU. I think they're going to LSU after their open date. Maybe LSU can top them. Who knows?
I don't think they can if Alabama plays their A game, but LSU they're playing a lot better than I thought they would. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you calling.
Anyhow.
And keep calling and keep watching, and you have no idea what it means that you guys even watch me. I'm here at a truck stop, headed to Memphis and back to Joplin, and I'll be in my new truck next week, hopefully, and I'll get to show it off.
Oh, good.
Get to show it off for everybody. They brought it from a dealer up in Iowa down to the dealer, Kenworth dealer, in Joplin. So I'm hoping I can get in that thing next week.
That's good, and we appreciate what you do for us. You guys are on. You're the heartbeat of America, getting our goods to and from. If it weren't for you guys, we wouldn't have the goods or groceries or whatever. So we appreciate it, and God bless, and good luck next week.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Well, that was a good call. Anybody else wants to call me? I'd like to hear Ryan call if he wants to start chirping about the upcoming basketball season. I don't know, Ryan. I see you're on here talking about the basketball season. It's going to be here, 2 more weeks? I don't know, November 6th. We're ranked in the top 4. I don't know where Florida is, but I'd like to put up a bet with you on the basketball season. Crazy Ryan, if you got the nerve to call. If I don't hear from anybody in the next few minutes, I'm going to wind this thing down on the 3rd Saturday in October. And I don't know what y'all think, but you can comment in the comment section. But the last 75 years, I think the 3rd Saturday in October has got to be a top 5 rival. It hasn't been the last decade, but you got to remember, before the last 12 years, we were 10-2 against Alabama. But you take the last 75, 80 years, the 3rd Saturday in October has been my Christmas. It's the game I look forward to the most, and you ask any older Alabama fan, they're going to tell you their biggest rival is Tennessee. The younger crowd's going to say Auburn, but you just can't get any better than the Tennessee-Alabama rivalry. And I love it, I love it, I love it, and I love you, the fans. Y'all are the ones that keep me going on this thing. I love talking to you, and I've met a lot of fantastic people on the road. I've met Billy Cole Jr. Down in Florida. I've just met a lot of you, and some of y'all have recognized me at truck stops and seen me and got to shake your hand, and that's just been great, great, great. Well, anyway, I guess Ryan's not calling in, so I'm going to end this thing on a tough loss. I saw some good and a lot of bad, but I'm going to hang my hat on the good. But anyway, for those of y'all that watch me a lot, y'all know what's coming next. Thanks for tuning in. Go Vols. We're going to a bowl game. I promise you that.